Let's move on to the course Communicative English. We are dealing with Unit 3, 3.1 Interview Techniques and 3.2 First Impression. In 3.1, we have interview techniques. We'll start with interview techniques. Interview techniques are the practices that you follow before, during, and after an interview to convince hiring managers that you are the best candidate for the role. The type of interview techniques you use can vary depending on the role you are applying for, stage of the interview process you are in, and the location of the interview. It's important to learn and practice your interview techniques beforehand to ensure you are prepared. This can help you convey confidence and professionalism throughout the interview process. Be positive. You will be more attractive candidate or a co-worker if you are upbeat and optimistic about your career outlook. One of the biggest tricks to interviewing is sounding enthusiastic about the position. Mastering that skill is a big payoff though. The interviewer is reassured that you are interested in the job and that you will be a good team player. Set goals. Prior to interviewing, take time to write down where you want to be in 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years. Be specific and map out a step by step plan on how you will achieve those goals. Be focused and tenacious in your goals and set time limits as well. And let those ambitions be heard by the hiring company. Sell what you can do. Know what benefits and skills you bring to the table. Read over the job description and envision the concerns and needs of that employer. By convincing the interviewer that you can deliver the desired results, you are more likely to get an offer and you increase your leverage when it comes to negotiating the salary you want. Be approachable and likable. This shows that you will fit with the company culture and get along with other employees. The best way to make the interviewer confident that you will fit in is to be approachable and likable throughout the interviewing process. Whether you are talking to the interviewer face to face or through a virtual interview, always smile. Ask the right questions in the right way. People don't like hidden agendas, and interviewers are no different. Before any interview, prepare a list of questions that you are comfortable with and learn to deliver those politely and intelligently. In the end, hopefully, you can decide whether or not you want to work for the company rather than passively allowing a company to pick you up. Be proactive and, above all, know what you want. Regardless of pay, title, or industry, there are both positive and negative aspects to any position. Make the decision to focus on the things you enjoy about the job rather than letting the downsides cloud your judgment and outlook. Be aware of your body language. How you present yourself is almost as important as what you say during the interview. Be mindful of your posture, eye contact, or possible distractions like swiveling on in your chair or tapping the table. Take deep and even breaths to help calm your nerves. and project positive and confident body language. Practice your interview beforehand. You will look and feel more prepared for your interview if you practice answering simple questions or sample questions beforehand. Research common interview questions and use them to practice in front of a friend or a colleague. Ask them to share their honest feedback with you and take their notes into consideration. If you don't have anyone to practice with, answer questions in front of a mirror. This can help familiarize yourself with your mannerisms and gestures during the interview. Punctuality. Arrive early. The last thing you want to do is to show up late. Having extra time means you can take a few minutes in the washroom to check how you look, tuck in your shirt, fix your tie, comb your hair, and fine tune the image that you want to present. Project enthusiasm. The hiring manager will want to see that you are passionate about your field and the job that you are applying for, so bring some energy to the room. A firm handshake and plenty of eye contact demonstrate confidence. Speak distinctly in a confident voice, even though you may feel shaky. Listen carefully. Learning how to listen really helps, and it's a powerful tool. Some ground rules to follow is that not to interrupt when the other person is talking. Maintain good eye contact, lean forward, and face the speaker directly, and put away your cell phones. Always try to present you in the best light. Do your research. Learning as much as possible about a company's services, products, customers, and competition will give you an edge in understanding and addressing the employer's needs. So, always try to have a good understanding of the company before you go. Read news coverage of the company, check out the company's social media feeds, and brush up on the key players. Look sharp. There is certainly no shortage of advice out there about what to wear and what not to wear. It is best to dress conservatively. Unless you work in a creative industry, the employer wants to know that you dress professionally, plain and simple. As long as you look presentable, the interviewer is going to be paying attention to what's coming out of your mouth, not what you're wearing. Send a thank you note. A great way to demonstrate your professionalism and appreciation is to send a thank you note to the interviewer. This tells them that you are polite and courteous and it makes you stand out from other candidates. A day or two after the interview, send them an email with a personalized greeting, a message of gratitude, a refresher of your qualifications, and a request to move forward with the interview process. Techniques by interview type. There are many different formats for the job interview, each with its own challenges and advantages. The technique you use during an interview may depend on where you are interviewing and with whom you are interviewing. There are a few techniques or formats to be included. First is a phone interview. A phone interview is usually one of the first steps in the interview process. If the hiring manager thinks the skills and experience on your resume are a potential fit with the company, they may reach out to you over the phone to learn more about you. Follow these techniques during your phone interview. First is research the company and review the job description beforehand to better explain how you would be a great fit and why you want to work there. Practice common interview questions, especially tell me about yourself so that you can answer with confidence. Keep your resume, interview notes, and other materials nearby and refer them whenever needed. Move to a quiet environment so that you can focus and you are away from any distractions. Video interview. Many companies use video technology to interview these days. Most of the times, it could be a Skype interview where your camera will be turned on. So, the candidate's facial expressions and mannerisms as they answer basic interview or screening questions play a major role. Video interview techniques. There are a few techniques that you should use. Like practice your video software to interview beforehand and ensure your internet connection is strong throughout the entire practice interview. Test your computer's microphone and camera to ensure you look and sound clear. Position yourself in a quiet area with proper lighting and a neutral background. Place your phone in do not disturb mode. Try to use some body language you would use in an in person while sitting face to face and nod your head, show that you are listening and allow gestures while you are being interviewed. One on one in person interview. When a hiring manager invites you to an in person interview, you have passed the initial screening phase. Usually, during this stage, the employer has general knowledge of your skills and experience and is now trying to learn more about you personally, your work ethic, your commitment to the role, etc. So, act polite and engaging as soon as you meet the interviewer. Be sure to smile and shake hands with them while introducing yourself in person. Stay friendly, energetic, and professional as you meet other employees. And be sure to show your enthusiasm and passion for the position. And never show any disinterest or lack of concentration. Always show your appreciation for their time as well. Group interview. If an interviewer has limited time to meet with each candidate, they may schedule a group interview. This consists of several candidates interviewing together, and this helps interviewers understand how well you work with others and perform in high stress situations. Techniques to follow during a group interview include being friendly and polite to other candidates and treating them respectfully by nodding along and smiling as they talk. Listen to your other candidates' answers and try to think of a way to make yours sound more unique and specific to the company. Remain confident and relaxed as you answer the questions clearly. Panel interview. Panel interviews consist of interviewing in front of multiple employees at once. This type of interview helps employers gauge how well you can handle high pressure situations since many people are focusing on you at once. The panels may have leadership members, your potential manager, and department teams attending. Many hiring managers enjoy panel interviews because other employees can provide their opinions on whether you would be good for their team. This is a great time to show how well you can handle group settings. Let me discuss some techniques with you. Focus your attention on whoever is talking and provide responses whenever necessary to show that you are listening to them. Try to remember the names of each person on the panel so that you can politely and professionally address them by name when answering the questions. Prepare yourself for many follow up questions as your answers may satisfy some people while other panelists may want you to expand further. Take notes of questions that come up that you would like to ask when it is your turn. And always appear diligent and as well as be specific on what you are speaking. Let's move on to the first impression. How to make a first impression in interviews. Interviews can be stressful and intimidating, but they don't have to be. With the right amount and kind of preparation, you can significantly lessen your interview stress. One way to do that is to make sure you are ready to make a first good impression, which is essential when meeting anyone, including a prospective employer, for the first time. So, to ensure you are leaving a positive first impression, let's follow a few important tips. Arrive looking professional. Whether you want to admit it or not, appearance is extremely important when making a first impression. And it's not only important to have the right attire and dress in a suit or blouse for interviews, but it's also important that the rest of your appearance is impeccable. For example, a messy hairstyle is not really acceptable. Note that the chances your interviewer will not only be judging your answers, but also if you would be a good representative of the company when meeting with clients. Neat and clean will go a long way toward making a solid first impression. Give a firm handshake. The stereotype is true. Surveys show that to most people, a firm handshake is a key indicator of confidence and professionalism. So be sure to shake everyone's hand who will be interviewing you before you begin your meeting. This will make a positive first impression and set the tone for a good meeting, improving your interviewer's sentiments toward you for the rest of the meeting. Keep in mind, however, that nerves can make your heart race and palms sweaty. And although sweaty palms can be frustrating, they can be managed. Before your interview, try to practice some anxiety soothing rituals like deep breathing or meditation so that your stress can be reduced. Practice active listening. It isn't simply an answer that is to be given for your questions. You need to be present to show your interviewers that you are engaged in what they are saying. Things as seemingly simple as a nod, smile, or eye contact will go a long way in showing your prospective employer that you are a thoughtful and passionate candidate right from the beginning. These small gestures can also create a stronger feeling of connection between the group in the interview room, and that will help your interviewer and interview also to stand out and you be appreciated. It's important that you honestly judge your strengths and weaknesses well before your interview so that you can cater these tips to your own needs. This will help you make the most of your first encounters with potential employers to give you the best chances of landing the job. Subunit 3.3 Nonverbal Communication Body Language. Body language. Body language is the unspoken element of communication that we use to really reveal our true feelings and emotions. It's the relaxed facial expression that breaks out into a genuine smile, with mouth upturned and eyes wrinkled. It can be a tilt of the head that shows you are listening, sitting or standing upright to convey interest, or direct attention with hand gestures. It can also be taking care to avoid a defensive arm crossed posture or restlessly tapping your feet. So, body language plays a very major role in deciding what you think, who you are, or what you are. Check your nonverbal body language. Similar to active listening, the way you position your body and gesture during your interview can speak volumes about your work ethic to employers. To appear open and honest, try to keep your arms and legs uncrossed, and to seem approachable, relax your brow. Ignoring these small cues can subconsciously signal to others that you are hostile or unfriendly, which can immediately put the interviewers on guard and affect your interview's outcome. The importance of nonverbal communication. Your nonverbal communication cues, the way you listen, look, move, react, all these tell the person you are communicating whether you are the kind of person that they are looking for. If you're being truthful and how well you are listening. When your non-verbal signals match up with the words you are saying, they increase trust, clarity, and rapport. When they don't, they can generate tension, mistrust, and confusion. If you want to become a better communicator, it is important to become more sensitive, not only to the body language and non-verbal cues of others, but also to your own. Nonverbal communication can play many roles. First is repetition. It repeats and often strengthens the messages you make verbally. Contradiction. It can contradict the message you are trying to convey, thus indicating to your listener that you may not be telling the truth. Substitution. It can substitute for a verbal message. For example, your facial expression often conveys a far more vivid message than words can. Complimenting. It may add to or complement your verbal message. As a boss, if you pat an employee on the back in addition to giving praise, it can increase the impact of your message. Accenting. It may accent or underline a verbal message. Pounding the table, for example, can underline the implication of a message. With this, we have come to an end of this session. Please get access to the sway links. With this, we have come to an end of the session. Kindly watch all the videos embedded in the MS Sway. Happy learning, have a great day, and stay safe. Thank you.